last night on The Bachelor.
What happened?
As I was walking, a puma crosses my path.
Hey, let's watch this thing.
Whoa. Is this a tape of me falling?
Yes, put the DVD in.
The Bachelor is back for another week, and there is no time to waste, because last night's episode was 3 hours long. Why? Well, why the heck not?
Why do you think your people made me?
We made you because we could.
So grab your coffee, grab your Red Bull, grab whatever you need, because this 3-hour episode is only the beginning. We've got another episode on Wednesday, so let's start this thing. And as per usual, no posting outright spoilers in the comments section. Sleuthing is all good. Week 5 of The Bachelor begins right where we left off, with the women ready for an uprising after Peter brought Alea back into the competition. Which is no fun for Peter, who prefers when they all want to kiss him a bunch. So Peter pulls Alea aside to nip this in the bud.
I don't want to have to put you through any more of this.
Peter says to himself in the mirror before sending Alea home again. This isn't fun anymore, and the easiest thing to do is say sayonara.
I think that it's probably time to say goodbye.
Peter, do you know the physical toll that being sent home, brought back, and then sent home immediately again does to a person?
Snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap!
So Alea gets the boot, and Peter rounds up woman after woman to apologize for putting them through all of that. And the ladies are all like, yeah, no problem. And everything's back on track. And if you feel bad for Alea here, don't worry too much about her. It won't be long before this is well behind us, and you can bet we'll be seeing her show up in paradise. Now, with all that business out of the way, it's time to send even more women home with a rose ceremony, where it comes down to someone who gets a little bit of screen time versus 3 people who get almost none.
Tammy?
Moving on to the next day, and Peter and the gang are departing Cleveland to the lush green and warm weather of Costa Rica. Naturally, Peter flies in to greet the women, who are expecting to see Peter's pretty face once more, but are curious when he arrives with a bandage on his forehead.
You want to know how I got these scars?
And as I was walking, a puma.
Yes, Peter wrestled a puma and... he bumped his head into a golf cart and then smashed his head with a glass. Now, Peter did have to have 22 stitches put in, but fear not. Peter mustered up the courage to get out of bed and still date 12 women. Starting with Sydney, who's getting the first one-on-one of the episode. They're headed right back into that helicopter and are flying into the lush greenery of Costa Rica for a picnic.
I do think you are probably the most mysterious person in the house.
Oh my god, I get that all the time.
AKA, I don't know anything about you, but I think you're super hot. The two chat about finally getting an opportunity to get to know each other and about their roots, and while they snog in the jungle, the ladies are back at their pad waiting to see whose name isn't on the group date card that just arrived. Cheyenne is hoping that it's her.
Cheyenne?
Don't know why I got my hopes up.
Another week, another L for Cheyenne. Once all the names come out, the only one not on the date card is Kelly, meaning she'll be receiving the other one-on-one this week. Back on the date with Sydney, Peter and her have moved on to the night portion of their date, where Sydney opens up about her parents' divorce, her distance from her father, and how she was bullied and attacked growing up.
I ate my lunch, literally in the bathroom stall my whole senior year.
No.
Now, a big thing that went around last night was someone posting a bunch of yearbook photos of Sydney in high school that picture her as in pageants and very popular, but I also think it's fair to say that just because someone is in pageants or is admired for their physical beauty doesn't mean they aren't being bullied or that they aren't also going through a bad time. Regardless of everything else she gets caught up in on the show, don't mistake photos for absolute truth. As for now though, Sydney gets a rose and a really long makeout montage in a pool.
Two hours later.
But while Sydney's enjoying the evening, someone back at the house is not. Kelsey is upset. She's having a hard time with the whole process and she's worried about what Peter wants. Like Sydney, is that the kind of person who he wants to be with? Tammy asks, so do you not like Sydney?
I like Sydney a lot. I think she's cool. But she's a dramatic bitch.
Group date time, and the ladies are brought to a beautiful waterfall for a photo shoot. That's right, ladies, time to get those swimsuits on. We've got yet another modeling group date ahead of us. This time it's being run by Cosmopolitan Magazine, and the winner of this photo shoot is going to be put on the cover of the March issue of the magazine. The shoot starts, and it's not long before Victoria F goes in for the makeout sesh, leaving the other women like,
Alright, that's illegal.
well, Hannah Ann is a model, and she is not going to be one-upped by shy girl Victoria F. So she goes in for the makeout move too. And, ooh, there, zoom in on that. I think we have our cover, ladies and gents.
And I'm spent.
Unfortunately, the people at Cosmo disagree, and they select Victoria F as the winner of the photo shoot, giving her one last shoot that will be put on the cover of the March issue of Cosmopolitan. That is, until last night, they announced Victoria F's cover has been cancelled, due to the photos that came out of Victoria modeling for a Marlin Lives Matter campaign. Here's a quote from the Cosmo editor on the campaign and Victoria's involvement. In my view, the nature of the organization is neither here nor there. Both phrases and the belief systems they represent are rooted in racism and therefore problematic. For now, though, Victoria is feeling good as she's on top of this group date and getting some alone time with Peter. Oh, and she just had a birthday.
Wait, how old are you?
26.
26.
It's depressing.
And right now, everyone 26 and older is going,
I did it. I did a cartwheel.
You!
Then more women get one-on-one time with Peter, and the biggest move is made by Kelsey, who wants to, 1, explain that she's been emotional lately because this is hard for her, but 2, it's been so hard for her because...
I am falling in love with you, I am.
Meanwhile, Tammy is still not over how emotional and dramatic Kelsey was the night before, mostly because she understands that, while this is hard on her, it's also hard on everyone else. And yet Kelsey seems to be the only one having an emotional breakdown.
She also said last night that she was like the realest bitch here and everyone else was fake, so.
What?
Okay, I gotta stop here because a huge chain of events is about to go off involving Tammy and Kelsey and Sydney, but it all started right here. Victoria F casually dropping this statement and then retreating into the shadows while the drama unfolds. So, Tammy is upset. And that upset is leading to her making one of the biggest mistakes you can make on the show. Tattling. She goes off and tells Peter about Kelsey, and then Peter's upset because the two of them just had an awesome conversation, so he sits down with Kelsey once more to ask what's up, and she's not happy about any of this. Naturally, it all leads to the women arguing, saying Kelsey has been overreacting, and Kelsey saying there's nothing wrong with being emotional, and she was upset like one time and never creates drama. To which Tammy says, you were upset over a bottle of champagne for 4 days, and Kelsey's like, okay, you got me there. Anyways, Hannah Ann gets the rose, and remember when she was the center of the drama? Hannah Ann is looking better and better every episode, and that should tell you a little something about this season. Like, literally not being in the drama is the most endearing quality you can have right now. Moving on to the final one-on-one of the episode with Kelly, and Peter has concerns as Kelly has been far too normal so far and not involving herself in any of the drama. I mean, what is wrong with you, Kelly? Do you not love me? They commence in a cleansing ritual to get all of this positive energy out of Kelly so she can start causing drama with the other women. But what's really being said here is that Kelly is at a little bit of an arm's distance away from Peter, and she's not shoving herself out there all the time. So they're determined to get to the bottom of this on the date. And Peter's here all ready to be like, let's do this. What's wrong with you? Why aren't you opening up? But Kelly's like, excuse me, it ain't me, it's you. I'm wondering if you're ready for a wife. When Peter asks what makes her think that, Kelly says,
just like, rewarding the drama and stuff like that. Like, that just kind of irked me.
Which she's not wrong to think. She goes on to say that she wants a partner who's going to stand tall with her. She wants to be a power couple and to be with someone who challenges her and she can challenge back. And I don't know if Peter enjoys a little scolding or if that just resonated with him, but Peter changes his tune and pulls out the rose to give to Kelly on their date. Alright? Rose ceremony day. But before we get there, Kelsey is headed over to talk with Peter and clear the air. She continues to express how emotional this process has been because she cares so much, but that the talk of drinking and popping pills even, that's far-fetched. Did she drink too much that night? Probably, but a lot of people have had nights like that, and she wants to squash this now. Peter then tells Kelsey not to worry, and in order to quell her fears, he pulls out a rose that he just happened to have in his back pocket and hands it to Kelsey. Which I get, but now Kelsey has to walk all the way back to the women and tell them that she got an early rose by going over and talking to Peter before the rose ceremony. Which definitely won't cause any more drama, right, Peter? Right? At the cocktail party, 2 things take center stage. The first being the drama with Tammy, and the second being the amount of time McKenna sticks her tongue out all night.
hours later.
Obviously, McKenna watched the Super Bowl halftime show. Anyways, Chris Harrison comes in to tell the women the cocktail party is cancelled, which makes everyone without a rose upset because now they feel Peter is making decisions based off of what happened this week and without further explanation. More drama ensues. Sydney, Lexi, and Victoria P all turn on Tammy. Sydney says she's never brought up other women to Peter, which is untrue. She brought up fake women to Peter a couple of episodes ago, and when he asked who, she named Alea, and okay, fast forward. Eventually, it comes down to Lexi, Sheann, and Tammy.
Tammy?
And the biggest surprise of it all is how shocked Sheann was she's gone. But hear me out, Sheann. It's for the best. This season was not good to you. Time to get the heck away from this all. And that's the episode. The drama continues and the number of women is starting to dwindle. I hope you enjoyed this recap, and be sure to like and subscribe if you did. We have a whole day to get through until the next episode, so don't relax just yet. There's more to come real soon. So until then, Bachelor Fantake, out.
I like Sydney a lot. I think she's cool. But she's a dramatic